Bioshock is a 2007 first-person shooter video game published by 2K Games. The game is considered a spiritual successor of the System Shock series. In this video, I will explain the storyline and recap what happened in the game. So, consider yourself warned about upcoming spoilers that might ruin your experience if you plan to play the game. It's 1960, Jack is a passenger on a plane that crashes in the Atlantic Ocean. Jack is the only one survivor of the crash. He swims to a nearby lighthouse on the island. There he finds a bathysphere which descends him into the ocean abyss and the entrance to the underwater city of Rapture. Jack of course never heard of this place, and as the bathysphere is moving, he can hear some voices talking. When the thing stops, he witnesses a man being slaughtered by a creepy woman who then spots Jack's presence and tries to slice into the capsule, but resigns after getting stuck and disappears. A mysterious voice is asking Jack to pick up a radio, introduces himself as Atlas, and promises to help him get to the safety zone. That's not easy, as splicers are after him as soon as he starts to make his way through. One of them hurts Jack badly, but he manages to survive the combat and finds some weird medicine that really gives him the kick. Atlas informs him that his Genesis code is being rewritten, but Jack panics and falls down.
Hold on and everything will be fine.
When he wakes up, he hears splicers talking about hurting him, but they are scared by some creatures they call Big Daddy. Soon, Jack sees a huge creature with a glowing helmet and a huge drill instead of his right arm. There's also this little girl with a needle that says Jack is an angel, and they leave him with no harm done. Jack escapes through the underwater passage and soon discovers new abilities that he possessed. He can now throw paralyzing lightning from his left hand. Atlas informs Jack that his family is somewhere in Neptune's bounty and he is cut off by splicers. He asks Jack for help and explains how the plasmids like the one that has given Jack an electro abilities made citizens of Rapture lose their minds and made them valiant and turn against each other. Jack also finds Diane McClintock's diary. She talks about 1959 New Year's Eve, complaining about her man Andrew Ryan is at work and she had to go out by herself. Suddenly the diary is interrupted with a screams and Diane starts panicking. Atlas tells Jack to calm down and lower his weapon. Seems he spotted another little girl with a needle, and the child is collecting something from a dead body. Atlas says that it ain't no child but a monster called Little Sister. Little Sister like this one are used to collect Adam, a genetic material that is the most wanted good in the Rapture city. Then Jack is a witness of a Little Sister being attacked by a splicer and Big Daddy coming to the rescue. After another clash with the splicers, Jack gets lost and finds himself trapped in the room, while Andrew Ryan pops out on the screen. Ryan tells Jack that Rapture is no place for a spy like him, and he tries to kill him with splicers, but Jack runs to the medical pavilion. There to find an emergency exit, Jack needs to get Dr. Steinman's key, but Atlas warns him that Steinman is a maniac and a human butcher who lost it completely when he experimented with using Adam in surgery. Soon Jack discovers new plasmids that give him the ability to control the fire telekinetics. But the bad news is, Andrew Ryan has put a generous reward for his head. Jack finds surgery and fights with Dr. Steinman. When Steinman is dead, Jack gets the key and he is instructed by an Atlas to get back to emergency access. Jack sees Big Daddy being killed by a splicer trying to kill Little Sister, but Dr. Tannenbaum appears and in the last second shoots the aggressor. Atlas encourages Jack to take Adam from the Little Sister, saying that Tannenbaum is responsible for turning them into monsters, and that his life and the life of his family is more important, and killing Little Sister and taking their Adam is the only way to survive in this city. But Dr. Tannenbaum shows him another solution. There is a cure that can turn them back into human. Jack has to make a choice: Adam or the life of a little child. Little Sisters have slugs inside them. Those creatures are the source of Adam. Dr. Steinman believed that if you harvest the slug, the host will die. so there's nothing wrong in doing that with little sisters. But Jack decides to spare her life, and actually she turns back into a normal girl. Tenenbaum thanks him for choosing the good solution, but Atlas is disappointed and once again tells him that he needs to collect Adam, and he can tell that he is ready to fight Big Daddy to get some Adam from his little sister. Jack leaves the medical pavilion and Atlas wants to meet him in person in Neptune's port. Atlas says his wife and child have been hiding on a submarine and directs Jack towards it. Just as Jack and Atlas reach the bay where it's located, Ryan is destroying the submarine, and that enrages Atlas, who guides Jack on a mission to kill Ryan. Eventually, Jack confronts Ryan in his office. Ryan reveals the truth that he has pieced together. Jack was actually born in Rapture 5 years ago, genetically modified to mature rapidly. He is Ryan's illegitimate son by an affair with Jasmine Jolene, an exotic dancer. Ryan further reveals that after purchasing Jack's embryo, Frank Fontaine designed him to obey orders that are preceded or followed by a specific phrase, "Would you kindly?" Jack was then sent to the surface when the Rapture Civil War started to put him beyond Ryan's reach. When the conflict between Fontaine and Ryan reached a stalemate, Jack was given instructions to board a flight with a package and to use its contents, a revolver, to hijack and crash the plane near the lighthouse, enabling him to return to Rapture as a tool of Fontaine. Because Jack was Ryan's son, he could freely use the Rapture's Bathysphere network, which had been logged out to everyone except those with Ryan's genetic ballpark. With Ryan's death, Jack realizes too late that Atlas has also been using the trigger phrase to control him. Atlas reveals himself to be Frank Fontaine, who faked his death just to throw Ryan off his trail and take control of the city, leaving Jack at the mercy of the reactivated security systems. Dr. Tannenbaum and her little sisters help Jack escape through the vent system, where he falls and loses consciousness. When Jack awakens, Dr. Tannenbaum has already deactivated some of his conditioned responses and assists him in breaking the remaining ones. Among them, one that would have eventually stopped his heart. With the help of a little sister, Jack is able to track down Fontaine. The mob boss, having been cornered, injects himself a vast amounts of Adam and becomes an inhuman monster.
Go! Go now! Hit him with the needle!
Jack battles him, eventually prevailing and allowing the little sisters to subdue and extract the Adam from his body, killing him.
I had you built! I sent you topside! I called you back, showed you what you was capable of! Even that life you thought you had, that was something I dreamed up and had tattooed inside your head! Now if you don't call that family, I know what is! And now...
Three endings are possible depending on how the player interacted with the little sisters. All are narrated by Dr. Tannenbaum. If the player rescues all of the little sister, therefore saving their lives, the ending shows 5 little sisters returning to the surface with Jack and living full lives under his care, including their graduation from college, getting married and having children. It ends on a heartwarming tone, with an elderly Jack surrounded on his deathbed by all 5 of the adult little sisters. If the player harvested and therefore killed all the little sisters, the game ends with Jack turning on the sisters after defeating Fontaine, presumably killing them all and taking their Adam. Tannenbaum narrates what occurred, condemning Jack and his action voice trick with anger and contempt. Later in the second ending, a ballistic missile submarine carrying a nuclear missile comes across the wreckage of the plane and is suddenly surrounded by bathyspheres containing splicers. The splicers kill all hands aboard the sub and take control of it. If the player saved some of the little sister, but also kill a fair few as well. The ending is visually identical to the second one, though the tone of Tannenbaum's voice is a sad one, as opposed to the angry one. So that was the story recap of the first Bioshock game. Leave a thumbs up if you liked the video and subscribe the channel if you don't want to miss another upcoming videos.